Good evening. I'm David Dahl.
And I'm Melanie Hanna.
We're glad you could join us for tonight's broadcast on the Excelevision Satellite Network. First up tonight, we'll take you to Charlotte, North Carolina, where you'll see Excel National Training Director Betty Miles give the Excel business presentation live before an audience of more than 800 people.
I know that would make me nervous, but Betty does a fantastic job. Wait till you see. After Betty's business presentation, Presidential Director Paul Oderson spoke to the crowd about his experiences since joining Excel. And if you've ever heard Paul speak, you know why you won't want to miss his talk tonight.
In addition, Vice President Steve Smith had the opportunity to tape an interview with Paul after the meeting, and we have combined the two events tonight to create a powerful and motivational segment you won't forget.
So let's get started and head down to Charlotte to listen to National Training Director Betty Miles.
Wow, what a crowd. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some of your busy schedule with us tonight. We're going to talk about the fastest growing company in the fastest growing industry in America today. That's the long distance portion of the telecommunications industry. But first, let me tell you a little bit about how I got into this business. My next door neighbor, Kathy Newton, was good enough one day to come next door and share the dream tape with me. Her husband was the basketball coach at USC, and I thought, you know, if they're looking at this, they're real prominent people, it's got to be something worth looking at. And when I saw that dream tape, I've been in the insurance business for 20 years. I've got to sell that stuff you've got to die to get. Now that's tough. That's a tough sell. So I thought, this is telecommunications. This is the information highway. And that's going to really replace selling insurance the way we've always sold it. It's going to replace selling houses and cars and a lot of other things because the telephone is going to come and connect through cable with the television. And then people are going to buy all these things right over their telephone because they'll be able to interact with that picture on their telephone. And there won't be any commissions. And I wouldn't get any money. But now, if I'm a part of Excel Telecommunications, every time they make a call, use the modem or the fax machine that's a part of that telephone, I'm going to get a little piece of that. And it's going to add up, and it's going to get better and better. Well, my husband, who was in politics at the time, still is, didn't really want me to do that. He said, not that network marketing stuff. And I said, well, you know, I want to be on this information highway, riding on it, not run over by it. And I said, I want you to check it out, and then if you don't find anything wrong with it, I'm going to get started. And that's exactly what I did. And it's been an incredible experience. Now, tonight we're going to answer 5 questions. Number 1, what's the telecommunications industry like? Number 2, how does Excel fit into that industry? Number 3, how do you fit into both? Number 4, what's in it for you, and can you do it? And number 5, how do you get started? The telecommunications industry is a $100 billion industry, and it's growing at an astounding rate daily. This is an industry that's done nothing but grow since Alexander Graham Bell made that first telephone call. And it's growing at an astounding rate of $500 million every single month. Excel has 2 target markets. Number 1 is dial 1 residential. That's people like you and me who have less than $500 in long distance usage each month. That makes up 70% of the total industry. So think what a great market we've got. The second market is small to mid-sized businesses. Again, that's people like you and me. We are a solid professional corporation with a top management team. Our president, Kenny Trout, started this company in 1988 out in Dallas, Texas. And today we have tens of thousands of representatives all across this country. We're a national corporation, one of only a handful of companies who are nationally licensed. That's an incredible opportunity for us. We have the highest quality service at competitive rates. We offer immediate cash income, serious income potential, and I mean serious, and long-term residual income. This is what we're all after. Long-term residual income, because that's the money you're going to make month after month and year after year for the work you're doing today. For our customers, nothing changes about the way they make a telephone call. They just pick up the phone, dial 1, the area code and the number just the way they always have. The local exchange carrier puts it through a major national long-distance carrier to the person called just the way they always have before. With detailed billing provided by the Baby Bells, GTE, and the other local exchange companies, nothing even changes for them in the way they get their bill. Nothing changes for the customers except that now that Excel is in the equation, you're going to get paid a percentage of your customers' long-distance usage every single month. They're making all those phone calls, you're going to be making money. Excel offers the finest long-distance services in America today. In addition to all the standard services offered by the other major long-distance carriers, we offer our customers the opportunity to save up to 50% on their long-distance calls. And we've got the My 800 service, which is terrific. This is for college kids or salesmen who are calling their own homes. That's a terrific service. And we've got customer incentives that all of our customers get to have just for trying our service. We don't have any inventory, nothing in the garage. You don't have to stock dial tones. Because we don't have inventory, then you don't have to deliver anything. And you don't have to be a bill collector. We don't collect anything from our customers. We don't have customer risk. If our customers aren't completely satisfied during the first 90 days, Excel will pay the switchback cost to put them with their previous carrier. We don't have to worry about employees, no withholding, no payroll, none of the employee hassles. I love that. There are no quotas and no products to purchase in order to get your monthly check. There's no complicated math or paperwork, and no experience is necessary in this business. We appeal to people with sales backgrounds and non-sales backgrounds just the same. Anyone, regardless of age, sex, race, origin, or education, can do this business. Since Excel is a national company, you can gather your customers anywhere in the country, not just where you live. You can also build your business, your customer base, and your marketing base anywhere in the country. Your customers, because Excel Plus gives 50% off when one Excel customer calls another Excel customer, then you're going to have your customers gathering customers for you because they'll have an incentive to tell their relatives or their family to try Excel too. Customers continue to use our service because long distance is a habit. And since it's a habit, they're just going to do it without you reselling it. And that's what helps you build your long-term residual income. And in the meantime, Excel's going to pay you immediate weekly income, and you're also going to get the training that you need to successfully start your business. This is Excel's stairway of success. You can come into this business as an independent representative by putting up a one-time, fully refundable $50 deposit. But if you're serious about Excel, you'll consider coming in as a managing representative by purchasing a management representative services program. And that costs $195. When you do that, you're going to get trained by someone from Excel. You're going to have all the supplies you need to successfully start your business. You're going to get your downline report, monthly statement, newsletters, most importantly, you are going to get all your bookkeeping done by Excel. That's the part I like best. Area coordinators are some of the most successful people in our business. Area coordinators are paid to train managing representatives. An area coordinator makes $40 for each new managing representative that they train. It costs $395 to be an area coordinator with a $100 renewal. And then you're able to teach people how to make money. All these different positions offer different levels of income that you can accomplish. But you've got to decide now how you want to come into this business. As a customer, a managing representative, or an area coordinator. You've got to find out, first of all, why we're really here tonight. And that's to decide if you can take advantage of this financial opportunity. Can you do this business? In order to do it, you've got to be able to gather customers. Gathering customers is easy. Suppose a friend of yours came up to you and said they wanted your help. Wouldn't you be willing to help them? Suppose they said that they were trying to earn extra money in the long-distance business, and all you have to do to help them is to be their customer, to try Excel's long-distance service. Now, if they can give you all the same high-quality service that you're receiving now, save you up to 50% on what you're currently spending, offer you a 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and give you discounts on just about every kind of travel that you use, wouldn't you be willing to try that service just to help them out? I think you would. It's just that easy to get customers. Can you see yourself trying this simple approach to get those customers? The Excel concept is simple. The most important word on this page is customers. And it's the most important word because no one gets paid in Excel except for trainers until customers are gathered. The genius of Excel, though, is that you're going to get paid not only for your efforts, but for the efforts of many people. The company doesn't ask you to go out and get a lot of customers. They just ask you to get a few and sponsor a few people and help them do the same. That's the genius of Excel. You get a few customers, you sponsor a few people, and just help them do the same. It's just that simple. Now think about it. How many people do you know who would like to save money on their long-distance bill? How many? Everybody. How many people do you know who want to save money when they travel? Everybody. You're going to make 2% commission on the long-distance usage of all your personal customers. Now, you can make money gathering customers, but you can make a serious income by building an organization of customer gatherers. Excel has a 7-level compensation plan, and all you've got to do to be eligible for all the commissions on all 7 levels is sign up 3 managing representatives, that's the people that go gather the customers, and sponsor 20 personal customers. That's all you've got to do. There are a lot of other ways of making income, but the 2 numbers that you need to look at are 100 and 5%. Those are the largest numbers in our plan, and I'm going to show you now how you can take those 2 numbers and create the finest financial opportunity in America today. We do 2 things in Excel. We gather customers, and we sign up people and help them do the same thing. Now, when you go out and get a managing representative and help them gather 3 customers, Excel is going to pay you $100. When your managing representative does the same thing, they go out and sign up a managing rep and help them gather 3 customers, they're going to get $100. And so on and so on and so on and so on until you get down to this big 7th level where you're going to have a number of representatives. Now, all of those reps are not going to get 20 customers. The company says its goal is to have between 5 and 10 for each rep. And the average phone bill is $25 to $30. So for you to find out how this big 5% applies to you, you've got to have a goal and figure out how many reps you want to get on this 7th level. And then you multiply it by an average number of customers, and then by the average phone bill, and then by 5%. And that's going to give you the amount of money that you can make in long-distance usage alone. That can be a sizable number. Just depends on what your goal is for your rep. But that's not all the income. That's just the beginning. You also can get leadership bonuses. Once you've completed a few simple requirements, you can promote yourself to senior rep. When you do that and then you go sign up one of those managing representatives, you're still going to get the $100 fast start commission, but you're going to get an additional $70 senior rep bonus because you've been promoted. That gives you a total of $170 for signing up that person and helping them with their 3 customers. And that's not all. Every time anybody in your organization that you bring into that senior rep line goes out and signs up an MR and helps them with their 3 customers, you're going to get $70. And the magic of this is that it doesn't stop at that 7th level. It just keeps on going, no matter how far down that line goes. Now you complete a few more requirements and you become a regional director. When you're a regional director and you go out and sign up one of those managing reps, you still get the $100 fast start commission when they've got their first 3 customers, but you get $70 and you get an additional $50 for your regional director bonus for a total of $220. And when anybody in your RD line goes out and signs up someone and helps them with their 3 customers, you're going to get $120. And that goes unlimited depth. You complete some more requirements and you become an executive director, our top position. Then when you go and sign up an MR, you're going to get $100 fast start when they've got their first 3 customers. You're going to get $70, $50, and $20 for a total of $240. That is incredible. And when someone in your ED line signs up an MR and helps them with their 3 customers, you get $140 no matter how far down that goes. Now, I've told you about the company, and I've told you about the industry, and I hope that you've seen a way that you can reach some of your goals. But now, we've still got 2 very important questions to answer. First of all, can you gather a few customers? Can you sign up or sponsor a couple people and help them do the same thing? If you can answer yes to both of those questions, then you're ready to join Excel. And we're excited for you if you make that decision. What do you do next? In order to join Excel, you fill out the independent application, independent representative app, and you fill out the bottom part of it to become your own first customer. Then you get your sponsor to go with you and help you sign up a few customers and sign up a few marketers, a few of those MRs. And the next thing you do is very important. You go to training. That is really important. Now, we're going to congratulate you for being a part of the Excel team. And I want to thank you very much for letting me share my enthusiasm with you. And I want to close with this one little story. My great-great-grandfather owned the Clinton Bottling Company in Clinton, South Carolina. And he was best friends with the man who invented Coca-Cola. And that friend came to him and said, if you'll bottle this new soft drink for me, I'll give you 50% of this company. And my great-great-grandfather tasted that, and he said, this stuff tastes terrible. It'll never sell. Just pay me for those bottles. And that's exactly what happened. He lost the opportunity of a lifetime. And I made up my mind when I heard that story in my family a long time ago that if anything really special ever came along, I was not going to let that happen to me. I didn't want my great-great-grandchildren saying their great-great-grandmother missed out on the company that passed AT&T. Thank you very much.
But I got started back in 1990 in November. And I'll never forget, a lot of you have been scared when you went to a meeting like a meeting. Like, what in the world? What's it going to be about? See, there's people here tonight, they're thinking, they're going to sell you something. They're up to something. And that's kind of the way I went too. And I wasn't excited about going. But when I went, I listened, and I signed up as an area coordinator. Now, I had a big problem, because when I signed up as an area coordinator, it was $690, and I didn't have it, folks, and that's the honest to goodness truth. I didn't have it. I covered it the next day. I was building a house at the time, our dream house. Somebody else has got this story too. Karen, are you doing the same thing? She said she did the same thing. But I covered the check the next Monday morning, by way of my building fund, because it was going to be our deck money. We had $1,500 allotted for our deck. And I figured we didn't need a deck in November anyway. So what I did was took that money, and I said, I'll make that back by April or March or April, something like that, where I can put a deck on the house. And we thought that was our dream house. That was going to be our house. It was 2,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms and 4 baths and acre-and-a-half lot. We were so proud of it. We don't even live in that house no more. It's the way life is, I guess. But I took the deck money, put it into this business, and proceeded to go work. And I was excited, just like a lot of you. You get excited, you go out to the real world. Well, folks, we're living in a normal world with real people. That most of them are broke, just like I was. And what I'm telling you is this, as I talk about this, and a lot of you have heard it before, but I talk about the real problem with being broke is that it requires so much energy. It's true. You got to think all the time. Think about it. No, seriously. You got to always think. Well, I'm just being real as you can be. You got to always think about what you can and can't do. You got to even think about where you can go on vacation, or if you can even go on one. That's the real problem with being broke. It requires really more energy to be broke than it does to go make some money. Well, as I signed up that night, went home, I stopped and got 7 customers on the way home, to each one of my family members. Met my wife at the door, and she wasn't excited at all that I'd even gone. And she said, "Did you do it?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, I know you did, because my mom's already called and said you stopped to get her to be your customer. What's this about? How much did it cost?" And I said, $690. Just like that. Now, keep in mind the perspective we came from. You got to understand where we all come from. You can't start out thinking you're going to make $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 a month. We all have to crawl before we walk. So my goal, as I've said earlier, but I'm going to say it right here tonight, was to make $1,000 a month, because I could believe that. I wanted to make $1,000 a month because I was clearing $2,300 a month teaching. And if I cleared $1,000, that'd be my truck payment, my house payment would be made. And I would be able to take the $2,300 a month and do stuff. 5 years ago, Steve, I was selling Christmas trees for $6 an hour. That's a true story. In December of '89. And then as you go along, you get other goals, that. And then after a couple of years, and I started making a little bit of money, I had a goal. I wanted to be a cash millionaire. I wanted to have it not on paper. I wanted to be a cash millionaire. And that recently happened. So that now liquid, we have over $1 million after taxes and cash. And that was important to me. That was really an important goal, so that for the future security of your family. This is a true story. 5 years, 60 months ago, I was selling Christmas trees for $6 an hour. And it gets cold up there in December. And I didn't have no way of going to Florida or Hawaii back then. And it gets real cold. But $6 an hour just to make extra money, so that during Christmas break for about 4 or 5 days, we could get away and go to Florida just to take a break. A lot of you have done that too. And she wasn't excited about me taking a chance, the big chance of $690 to do this business. Meanwhile, keep in mind, I've spent $350 per graduate course I was taking and books. But that was okay because that would give me a $2,000 a year raise when I finally got my master's degree. Think about the dumb stuff we do. That would give me a $2,000 a year raise when I got 10 of those suckers completed, those courses, and I finally did that and got a $1,600 and something a year raise. And that was okay to do that. But to do something like this and a chance to make $1,000 a month, this was stupid. I'm not making out Carla to be a bad person. She's not. She's really not. That's not why I'm telling you that. I'm saying your spouse or your family, you may have family members who don't have any point of reference ever on making any money. And that's okay, but we can step out and be different. Don't expect the rest of the prisoners when you go back to your place of work. You're going to go back to your place of work. And I went back to my place of work where there were 61 other teachers in my school. I tried to get some of them to be representatives and customers. Out of 61, only one would become a customer. Only one. Don't expect the rest of the prisoners, it's your prison, to like it that you're trying to escape. Not only will they not like it, they won't even, they'll shoot you in the back. They're not happy for you because they want you, everybody wants you just like them. They really do. That's what this whole, we start that in kindergarten. We're taught to be equal. But you know what all of us really want? We want the equal right to be unequal, don't we? I mean, that's what we really want. We don't want just be equal. Some of us, there's people out there that don't care if they even eat, and probably wouldn't if it wasn't for the government. But there's a few of us that say we don't want just to eat. We want to eat. We want to go do better. And that's what I was always looking for, painting houses in the summer and that kind of thing. But I went back to that school, only one person, not an MR1. So you're not going to have a lot of people excited around you. It's easy to quit. It's easy to give up. You're going to want to quit, and I've said this many times. You will want to quit 1,000 times. When I went to get my first customer outside of my family, I went to the door. I hated it. I hated asking my friend for anything. And I can remember going to the door, and I was shaking. My knees were shaking. My palms were wet. I got out of my truck, walked up to his door, and I rang the doorbell, and I hoped and prayed to God he wasn't home. That's the truth. And he wasn't home. And I got back to my truck, and I sat in the truck, and I can remember sitting in his driveway, shaking like a little baby, but saying, you did it. You did something you didn't want to do. My first 2 months in the business, I wouldn't do a meeting. I got the people together. I helped put some of the people in the room at the Danville Holiday Inn, Danville, Kentucky, but I didn't do the meeting because I was afraid to talk to groups. I knew that was something that if I wanted to be financially independent, that I would have to overcome. I would never be financially independent if I didn't overcome that. There'll be a lot of nights and a lot of days you'll say, man, I must be the most stupid person in the world. I've got the best opportunity in the world. People push one, I make money. I can make money here, and why don't these people see this? I know you want to say it to yourself a bunch of times. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of people who do want to do better. Just keep moving. We get to live one time. You only get to live once. But if you live one good time, that's enough. And if you think about the deal here, you get to live one time, you go through life, your kids get to live once, they only get to be 6 once, 7 once, 8 years old once. That's enough. But think about this. You live a good life. You die. Do you realize that the attendance at your funeral will still largely be determined by the weather that day? That's true. No matter how good you are at what you do. If it's raining that day, I don't care who you are, it's going to hurt the attendance at the crowd. I didn't think it was that funny. But the point I make is all in between was very important, wasn't it? Sure it was for your kids. I love the people that say money's not important. And I always ask them, where do you shop? Because it's important everywhere else. And the people with the money in this country, I'm not really trying to be a comic or nothing, But the people with the money in this country want people like us thinking that money's no good. That's exactly the way they want us. It's lies started generations ago and fed down through our grandparents and parents down to people like us, so that by the time it gets to me, I'm lucky if I just go out and get a good job. I'll never forget the day I resigned from my teaching job. And I told my parents I was going to be going full-time in Excel. When I quit my job in May of '91, it wasn't, I've had people a lot of times around the country, they'll say, thanks for being a pioneer, just like they've told you that. Thanks for hanging on and paving the way. I never thought about that. I wasn't paving the way for nobody. I was trying to stay alive. I wasn't paving the way for thousands or anything, and I still don't view that that's what's happened. It was just me trying to make a living at the time, because I'd already quit my job and I had to. If I hadn't quit my job, I'm convinced I would have quit. But I had already quit it in May of '91, and I had to make it work. I didn't have any choice. And my mom my mom greeted me with crying. She screamed, "You can't do it." I've already done it, Mom. You can't do that. Go back and get your rate. You cannot do that. You went to college. You got a master's degree. You've taught school 13 years. You've only got 14 more years till you can retire. That's the truth. Thinking like a good mother, right? That's the way most of our mothers would think. 14 more years. Now get this. Now I was clearing $2,300 a month after 13 years. Clearing $2,300 a month. By the way, if I was still teaching, I'd only need 10 more. 10 more. Think of that. I mean, that's double dumb. That ain't just dumb. But you know something? In my hometown, teaching's a good job, because you can't get laid off. And you got benefits. And you got retirement. Retirement and all those other benefits, health insurance. All that stuff is for people who don't make any money anyway. You ever notice how most of us at most jobs we talk about are benefits? You know why? You can't talk about what you make. I mean, think about it. You go to a job where you come, I got health insurance. You got dental? Nope. I got dental. I got dental. I got you there. You know, like it's a big deal. Just if you make enough money, you can pay $300 or $400 a month for health insurance. You just need to go make money. Because there's plenty, you think Ross Perot really cares if he's got, think about it. If it's $300 or $400 or $500 a month or whatever it is, surely not. You just go make enough money, it doesn't matter. And there's plenty out there for everyone. You can keep on keeping on, or you can go with very little risk, absolutely almost zero risk, go have an opportunity to make your family's life a lot better. And what it's done for my family, I couldn't even tell you in the next 5 minutes. And I don't stand up here trying to be me. There's so many more people, Betty, Miles, Larry, so many more people who have achieved financial security because of this business. It's not a me deal or Steve Smith deal or Kenny Trout deal. This is about you. The important thing is why you're doing this business in the first place. The why is much more important than the how. The how will take care of itself. You will figure the business out after a year or 2 years or whatever time it takes you to figure it out. But the why you need to know in your heart from the day one. I think why you do something like this is so much more important than how you do it. Because I think the why will carry you through other times. I read this one time and I practiced it one night. I got in from Huntington, West Virginia, and nobody had showed up. You've had that happen. We've all had it happen. If it's been around this business very long. And nobody had shown up, and it was 160 miles each way. 320 miles. And I got home, and I'd read this in a book about a month earlier. This was back in 1991, the fall of '91. It said, when you don't think you can go on, when you don't think you can keep up the fight, go look in your youngest child's face and tell them you don't have the courage to win. And so I made up my mind on the way home. It was about 8 or 9 months in this business that I would not be doing this anymore, that I'd go look for a real job. On the way home, I thought that. And then I got home, and my daughter was in bed. It was about 1:30 in the morning. And I went into her room, and I looked in her face. Couldn't do it. Couldn't tell her. So I went back out the next morning and talked to 2 or 3 people. But as good as I thought it would be to be financially independent, it's better. I used to sit and think it would be great. but I'll swear it's better. It's better than I even dreamed. And looking back, the price you pay, you know it, is nothing compared to the reward. It's nothing. I'd go back if I could do it, and I've been asked this a lot. If I could go back to November 11th of 1990, would you sign up? And I'd just answer, I'd sign up all over again, 1,000 times.
You can't help feeling a lot more motivated to work hard at your Excel business after hearing Paul speak. It's amazing what he's been able to achieve in such a short time.
It certainly is. And we have more footage of that interview and another live talk by Paul that we'll be featuring in a future broadcast. But that's it for tonight, and we'd like to thank you for joining us.
Don't forget, we will see you next Monday night right here on Excelevision.
See you then.
Good night.